Today we're making placemats. We're going to go ahead and lay out the back of some of the placemats and iron them flat. Make sure we're starting out with no seams and wrinkles. And tip and trick, with some of the longer pressed in wrinkles, a little shot of steam with the iron will take that right out. Okay, and for our placemats, we're using some leftover batting from some quilts. And we've matched up the sizes, and we're going to go ahead and spread out the top on the batting so we get them all laid out and flat. And while we have them all laid out nice and flat on a piece that's long enough of the batting, we're going to go ahead and trim them apart. And we've laid them out on our table, so we're just using the scissors and cutting right in between each of our placemats. And our placemats that we've decided to use are 18 inches by 15 by 18. And of course I've got Sylvia here with me, and I am going to play novice, and she is going to take over as our teacher today. Woot woot!
Okay, what we're going to do is just get one out of the way. Pull this one center full, so to speak. Match up our far sides.
For our batting, face to face with the top of our placemat.
Smooth it out. Then what I'm actually going to do is flip it around this way so I can see where the edge is.
Okay.
And I'm just going to take my scissors and cut. I can see that the other end's way back here, so I'm safe cutting right here. I'll give it a little more than a 1/4 inch. There we go.
All right, and we're going to do that to each of our placemats, and we're doing a set of 4 or a set of 6.
Well, what
today.
I decided to do, I've got actually 5 cut out of this fabric.
Okay. So we're going to do 5 right now.
We're going to do a 5, but it's not going to be a set. If we decide to sell it, I think we'll put an individual price, because some homes only want 1, some want 2, some want more than that.
Very good. Okay, so we're doing 5 of this pattern. And we are just trimming away the excess pieces of batting so that all 3 of our pieces are the same size. And the major importance with that is we don't have excess bulk. As well, when we're sewing, it is vital that our stitches go through all 3 layers of our fabrics, our batting, our top, and our back. If we miss one layer, we're going to have to turn it wrong side out and re-sew it, because you cannot have it without all 3 layers being smooth inside of the placemat. Okay, and again, we're laying them face to face and lining them up. And so we're just finishing trimming that batting. And with the excess batting pieces, we can put all of that in a bag and stuff our primitive stuffies and ornaments when we make those. Okay, and we are putting our bobbin in, and we're going to get started on our project.
Go ahead.
Okay, Sylvia, so what are we going to do first?
Well, first off, we're going to put a couple pins here and there.
Okay.
This is just to stabilize it. I'm putting them far enough in that you do not have to remove them as you sew. If I put them out to the edge, you'd surely have to remove them, because you do not want to run over them.
No. Okay, and you have such very long, beautiful pens there. I think we all need to get a set of the very large pens for our crafting and sewing and quilting needs, because they come handy on so many projects.
Well, these are actually Corsage pins.
Corsage pins.
Yes,
Okay, so
I-
that's a great thing to know. So we would find those probably instead of with sewing, we would find the corsage pins more with the ribbons.
Yes, but you might actually find them in your craft section.
Okay, corsage pins, because these are, I mean, look at how long these are. These are very, very nice. So that's perfect size.
Maybe two and a fraction inches.
Okay.
I did get them when I got my long arm.
Uh-huh.
So I've had them for quite a while.
Okay, so they come in handy. And I see we're starting with a leader. And instead of the Husqvarna, we're working with the Singer Heavy Duty machine. Looks like you're setting up on my table.
Yes, I decided
So-
to. And you call this a leader? I've called it a starter and an ender.
Starter and an ender, okay.
What this actually does is it keeps your thread pulled back so that when you start sewing, it does not make a thread nest. If the threads are loose, sometimes
Tips
they
and
can be
tricks,
jerked
okay.
back into it, and it makes like a little nest of threads.
No thread nests at the beginning or the end when we use that leader. Perfect, all right.
And as you see this, I've put 2 pins close to the edge together. Oh, I don't know, approximately 4 and a fraction inches. It doesn't need to be that big, just as long as you can get your hand in there.
Okay, and that's where we're going to turn it.
That's
Isn't it?
correct. That's where we
Okay.
will turn.
So we're going to pop that right up into our sewing machine. Mm-hmm. And I have to apologize ahead of time. We're still on a bouncy card table. So we've got a bit of a bounce when we go to sew here.
We'll go forward and backwards. Locks our
locking
stitches.
in our stitch.
And as you see, as you sew, the foot itself will push your batting. So remember, your batting is the top is actually back here when you go to do your turn. But I will run off of one edge,
Oh.
pick it up. This just reinforces your corner because we're gonna notch the corner, but we want it reinforced with the stitching that runs both directions.
Okay.
All right, now look at this. You see how this curled out because of the thing? We want to, if you like, you can put it up here and then just draw it straight back.
Gotcha.
And that way you know that it ended back here. It didn't pull out with the
Okay.
batting there. And then you just start again.
And so I had told
Yes.
our audience that all 3 pieces needed to be the same size. And that's not as important when we're sewing it. What's important is we catch all 3 pieces, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And I like to leave the back, or what I call the back, just a little bit larger because I like to run off at the corners.
Very good. Okay. And when we're running off then, we're still staying on the fabric.
The bouncing of the table does make it...
I know you hate that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
And we are making placements.
And hopefully this line will be straight enough to work.
Yeah, the bouncy kind of gets to you, I know.
And that did pull it up again about 1/8 of an inch.
Pull it up again. What does it
Pull the batting itself up. This is a very
Stretchy.
It's stretched. It's a very soft cotton batting.
Okay.
And it does stretch
Okay.
with the sewing. We could just pull these needles out as you go along. That way you don't worry about them catching a finger if you're readjusting.
Okay. And we are literally just going around all 4 sides. Same, except for we're leaving the space open between those 2 start and stop positions.
That is correct. Again. up to this needle here where we've marked that we need to stop. So I'll go just a little bit more and back stitch times. And what that does is it reinforces that because we're going to be putting our hand in and stretching.
Okay.
And this one we do not need anymore. We are ready to take it off. What we will do now is trim around the sides. And once we get the sides all trimmed, here, let me show you right here. We're going to trim around the sides.
Okay, so we're trimming just about a 1/4 inch roughly around.
All the way around.
Leaving that point? No.
Now at the corner, you see how my threads came out both ways?
Yes.
Can you see that good enough?
Yes.
Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to practically cut from one thread to the other thread.
Okay.
That's how you nip your corners.
Very good. Okay.
Okay, I'll see you again when we get it all trimmed up.
Okay, so we're just cutting, trimming a 1/4 inch all the way around.
Correct. I'm coming up to the opening, and what I'm going to do is, you can see from the other side, once I get within a 1/4 of the opening, I actually go out. I leave a little extra fabric here.
Okay.
And that way, when you turn it underneath, it just, to me, is easier.
Very
if
good.
you got that little extra fabric.
Okay.
And then out. And the last corner, we'll nip it. And now we're ready for turning.
Okay.
All corners are nipped.
Very good. Okay, so now we go in between the 2 pieces of fabric. Let me see the 2 pieces of fabric. Not in between the batting, but the 2 pieces of fabric, and we're going to turn it right side out.
You go to one of the far corners, take your finger on the outside, thumb's perfect, just push it in, pull it down enough to get it wanting to stay on the inside. Take your finger to the other side, push it down a little bit, and pull it out, pull it down, till you get both sides. Once you get a hold of both of the points on the inside, then you can just pull it out this way.
Just like we do our fabric bowls.
Just like our fabric bowls, correct.
All right, and we're going to lay that out flat.
Yes, we are. As turning, make sure you put your finger in the corner and you push it all the way out.
In the points.
In the points, in the corner points,
Okay.
correct. There we go, we got the point. We're going to push that out.
Okay.
And now we'll go to the next one. Make sure it's pushed out as far as it wants to go. Follow over to the other end. And I think we got it set. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lay it flat, smooth it out, and we will take it to the ironing board. We're going to fold this in. And see, this part has the batting. So you know when you turn that, you've got it. But this side, it feels a little bit thinner because it doesn't have the batting. That extra little bit of fabric can go back up in there. Helps you feel more secure about it. I take my fingernail and press it a little bit. Then when I go to the ironing board, it's already got a start of a print of a bend to it.
Okay.
Okay, so there we go. We're going to press the sides a little bit down. You can also put your finger in here and press your fabric with your finger on the underside and take your thumb or fingernail and put a little crease in the fabric. And I didn't do it all the way around, but let me show you what this does. Now when you come to lay it down, you see how that's more rounded? And looky here how that's flatter. Okay. Right in this little area.
Very good. So we see right on that sewing line, fat versus
a touch
seam
flatter.
Is out. Okay. Very good. Let's go to the iron. All right, so we are at the ironing board, and we hear our beloved machine is hot and full of steam.
So now we're going to take it, and we're going to start running around the edges.
Ooh, look at that steam go up.
Woo!
All right, so now is not for the fabric as much as it's just to make sure that the edges are all laid down smooth.
And this is our opening here. We'll just make sure that's pushed in properly. And we'll go right across that part. There we go. Now I think we've got it pretty good on this side. Let's touch this one again over here. Let's turn it over and just do a little press on that back part a little.
Okay. Such beautiful fabric.
And this is our opening down here. We've got it pressed pretty good, but we're just going to do it a little more on this angle, from this side. There we go. Now, I think we're ready to go back to the sewing machine. And what we'll do now is we'll go a top stitching all the way around. You can see how hard it is to find that opening. You can do this by hand, this little opening, or if you put your top stitching close to the side all the way around and then go in a quarter from that, it gives it a decorative look and it seals this perfectly.
Okay, so we're going to go around twice with the sewing machine.
Correct.
Okay, and Sylvia, I see that you're putting it under the machine right before that opening.
Yes, I am. What I want, let me show you the opening. Here we go. This is our opening, and I want to start roughly right here, and then I'll end here, and then I'll go up a little and go around one more time.
Okay.
So we'll take the R, so to speak. And if you see how close I'm getting to the edge, this is where my needle's going to come down, is right in here. And I'm about a 1/16 from the edge.
Okay, about a 1/16.
1/16. Okay, there we go. And with the we're coming up to where we started here, and I'm just going to come over those stitches a little bit. There we go. I'm over it about 1/4 inch. I am going to lift my needle, lift the foot, and now I'm going to go back around it one more time. And there's no need to back stitch there because you're going to run over the starting point when you get back around to that side.
Okay. And this is the decorative stitch, which is the second row around the entire outside.
Correct.
Okay.
Let's go a couple more stitches here.
Looking really good. Okay, and here we have our first finished placemat. And our measurements are, what are our measurements, Sylvia?
Let's see, it should be
15 by 20?
It should be close to 14 by 18. Let me get
14 by 18 finished piece. And again, what you want to do is somewhere between 12 and 14 and 18 and 20 for your standard placemat set. You can buy them commercially for 11 by 17. This one comes out to, looks like 13 and a half by... looks like 17 and 3/4. So again, right in that middle, because when you put your plate down, you want to have room on the table mat for the cup. So even though commercially you can buy them for 11 by 17, we like to have them a little bit taller. Keep your drink cup right on that placemat with them. All right. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to go ahead and do the other 4 placemats and get them all ready to turn in. And thank you again for joining me today. And please remember to thumbs up, like, comment. I really, really, really appreciate you all. And we'll see you again real soon. Thanks so much, Sylvia. Thank you.
You're welcome.